Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chicago Bears podcast perspective. It's my perspective, it's your perspective. Gosh, there's a lot to talk about, but this is my second video, so what I need you to do is watch the first video. I have a playlist designated for all my podcasts. This channel will be doing a little bit of everything, and within the next 6 months, we'll be revamped, talking about movies, games, let's plays, vlogging, filming. I purchased a camera actually a couple of days ago just to get me started. I plan on moving forward and getting a Canon 70D, I believe is the one I'm eyeballing at the moment. Got a couple of computers here. My brother makes video games and so forth. So subscribe, drop comments, watch that first Chicago Bears podcast perspective to just know how different this channel will be when it comes to talking Chicago Bears football and the history of Chicago Bears, or at least the history that I have seen. I can't really go back to the 60s other than the history it's on either, that you can gather online or on YouTube of the past. I didn't see that. There's a lot of things that I see that only, the fan base is always broken up, even about who's our quarterback right now, or what about Jay Cutler, or what about this, what about that. So I can only give you my perspective. In the comments, you can leave your perspective. But the first video explains, I touch on topics like I will have a Jay Cutler episode. I want to talk about it right now, but I'm not. Right now, I need to catch up on the last two preseason games that I have watched. I know a lot of people, right off the bat, let's kind of get some of the negative out of the way. Mike Glennon. Maybe Mike, to me, I was excited, but come on, it's not excited like if our defense was playing really like it is, like I think it's going to be, and we have this great running game. Chicago Bears has a history of having a great running game, great defense, and just quarterback play that, it's really difficult for them to get 10 yards. And they're throwing in ways you're like, what is going on? Maybe it's a Chicago Bears curse, I don't know. But Mike Glennon overall has just not looked that good. And yesterday, what I saw in the first drive, I think the guy's nervous, of course. But one thing I don't hear is, oh, well, he doesn't have a line. Guys, if Jay Cutler was behind there and was getting hit like that and had thrown the ball into triple coverage for years, you got half of these Cutler fans that would be, and I'm already going into Cutler, but anyway, you have half these Cutler fans that would be like, oh, well, the line. Oh, we don't have wide receiver talent. You got to keep in mind, our number one wide receiver was drafted a quarterback that has now become a wide receiver the past couple of years. That's our number one wide receiver. Say what you want about Alshon Jeffrey, but he was a presence and he didn't play all year. That's true too. But at the same time, you have to hit pause and go, okay, Kyle Long's not in there. Our line, I take preseason with a grain of salt, have every year. How many times has teams had a losing record in preseason and then regular season they're fine? I don't believe in showing my hand. Gosh, and I want to get into other aspects, but we're going to get there. But right now, I just think the quarterback situation is the glaring hole right now. So, Glennon comes out. I like his energy. I like how he is with the teammates. I like his fire. That is something that we haven't seen. But guys, he is what he is. And I don't want Trubisky to start. This is a guy that could not take snaps behind center just a few months ago. We need to let this guy do his thing. We got Glennon and Sanchez for guys that can at least hike the ball, hand off the ball. Notice that we've had 2 plays where our center has not been able to snap the ball correctly in 2 games. Mike Glennon, I don't want to give up on him. I'm not expecting him. When you're seeing Tariq Cohen and you know what Jordan Howard's going to do, nobody's talking about Jordan Howard. It's preseason. We've barely seen anything on him, but once regular season hits, our running back position's great. I mean, I wouldn't care to go old school Steeler football, first down, second down, run the ball, third down, throw. If you can get 3 yards a carry or 4 yards a carry, you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Quick outs. Look at our tight end depth chart. Gosh, and I want to go into our coaching, but I'm trying to wait. Right now it's Mike Glennon. So in my opinion, I want Mike Glennon to play all year. I want Mark Sanchez to play too. Mitch Trubisky, I don't want him to start. Would I want Mitch Trubisky to maybe see the second QB action going up against a second teamers, either in the 3rd or 4th preseason game? Oh yeah, now that would be cool. But Mitch Trubisky, I want learning, going over his fundamentals. This is a guy that, I'm like a lot of people. I was really upset that they drafted him. Still upset. No matter how good he looked, no matter how his quick release is, I kept hearing that the QB class next year is going to be tops, or at least much better. And in my opinion, this year you go safeties. We got Quentin Demps. He's 30-something years old, and I'm not knocking him. But I just kind of feel at the position, in your 30s, how long is he going to go for us? So we're still going to be searching. I think if you don't have a quarterback, you got to have the defense. We have not had the defense since Brian Urlacher. So now we got Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, I'm a fan. I would love for him to be our head coach. I hope I'm going into the coaching. Right now, okay, I'm okay with Glennon. I want Glennon to stay in. I want him and Mark Sanchez competing. Both quarterbacks are going to make us a 3 to 5 win game. Even on my Madden, it showed the Bears starting Trubisky, but only winning 3 games. And here's how I look at the game winning. If we win 6 games, awesome. Well, not awesome, but that's my expectation, 5 to 7. If we win 7, a strong 7 against good teams or more, then we got to keep Fox, because Fox is doing his thing. If we lose and only win 2 or 3 games, we got to get rid of Fox. Fox couldn't do it. Look at all the good teams he has had. Can the guy draft? Can the guy do things behind the scenes? I totally believe so. But when it comes to big games, when you got that defense in Peyton Manning in Denver and you get slaughtered like that in the playoffs, that is just unexcusable. And I have never liked Fox. And I remember when we hired him, I was like, oh wow, here we go. But the silver lining is we brought Vic Fangio over, a proven defensive player from San Francisco. Now I look at this team and I'm like, oh, I'd give anything to have. I'm not looking for the best quarterback, but imagine if we had somebody as competent as Alex Smith on this team. Say what you want about Alex, but he's a safe guy with the running backs that we have. He can get us first downs. He can play it safe. And our defense, it ain't going to be just a 3 and out. I'm back to playing that football, the defensive football. I'd love to see John Fox go. Dowell Loggins, come on. I am not a fan. I'm not even a fan of John Gruden. But with that said, I'd rather have John Gruden than John Fox. Or if we can get Sean Payton, I'd rather have Sean Payton than John Fox. I'm not a huge fan of either 3. If I could have it my way, I would pull a coach from the Patriots. It's the Bears, man. I'm just tired of us being mediocre and not having success. If I had it my way, I would make Vic Fangio the head coach and have Vic do things on the defensive side of the ball, and then I would find an offensive coach, like, in my opinion, Adam Gase. Why can't they pay coordinators top-notch money? Adam Gase should have been the coach. You know, there's just decisions that keeps getting made that are head-scratchers, and here we have a nucleus. I see us losing again, so next year, what is the strengths of the draft next year? I don't watch a lot of college football. I used to, but I'm an NFL guy. I'm a Bears fan. And I don't really have a team that I hate. There's really not a team that, even though, I don't like Green Bay, but they're the Joker to me. They're the Joker to the Batman. You got to have Green Bay. Makes it interesting. I learned that when Brett Favre was retiring. I remember Aaron Rodgers on a Monday night being flat on his back, and our defense and Tommy Harris, and, we were just creaming them. I was like, oh, wow, they're not going to be that good. And now look at Aaron Rodgers. But our defense looked good. Tariq Cohen, I want to buy a jersey. I want to get a Mitch Trubisky jersey. I want to get a Tariq Cohen jersey. I'm trying to look at all these young guys that might be in our team for 4 years at least, and I want to buy a jersey of a guy that's going to be there. Right now, I still find myself buying Brian Urlacher jerseys. If you subscribe, you'll hear my thoughts on the Brian Urlacher issue from back in the day. I will be talking about these key players from Jay Cutler to Tommy Harris. They'll be in separate podcasts other than stuff like this. Stuff like this, I'm trying to keep it on point. Some of these may not even have a thumbnail. There's just going to be audio only at the moment. So as the time gets going, things will progress. Last week, I think I recorded a video from my iPad. Today, it's from my phone, so I'm really not sure what the sound quality is going to be like. But I needed to touch on season 1 and 2 of the preseason, games 1 and 2 of the preseason on the Bears. Defense looks good. Mitch Trubisky, quick release, fast. Do I think he's the number 2 quarterback? I don't know, but even if he becomes an Alex Smith, I'm okay with that. But he already kind of seems like he has tangibles. I'm going to throw a name out there, guys, of who he reminds me of, and but I have to see him throw more. Guys, we have not seen a lot of Trubisky yet, but I just hope he don't have this luck. But I'm seeing a Tony Romo. I'm seeing that type of quick release and that running around and that real fast agility that he has. Not speed and acceleration, but agility. So, in Chicago, we still need wide receiver help. Kevin White, we're throwing to him on these stop and go routes, and I'd like to see him in stride a little bit more. And I don't know, guys. We just got so much work to do, and Dowell Loggins has just never been the guy anywhere else. So don't have your expectations up. Expect defense, special teams, and running the ball. Guys, that was the formula we had in 06. Okay, so let's kind of just get behind that and look at it as it is, and let's just kind of hope that the draft picks come in. Oh, and by the way, I was a fan of Eddie Jackson, and we're seeing some of those playmaking abilities. Guys, it's the SEC. Anytime we start pulling defensive players from the SEC, I'm very, very happy. So, yeah, there's bright spots. It's the QB, it's really right now, it's the Achilles heel. But come on, guys. Why start Trubisky when, most of the fan base is saying we're going to win 5 to 7 games this year? Let's just not throw him to the wolves. Let's kind of do that at the end of the year when it doesn't really matter. And maybe he's going to clean up third, fourth quarter. Maybe, I just want to take care of this guy. I want to really, really put time into him. I'd be okay if we put 3 years into him. That's how important this guy needs to be to Chicago, because we've never had a football team with a quarterback. Jay Cutler, come on. Come on, seriously? I was such a fan of his. After the 3rd year, see, I don't want to go into that. I want to have a Jay Cutler episode. So, guys, it's already gone on too long. If you're like me, you podcast in your earbuds as you're doing other things, you're multitasking. This is my perspective. So what's your perspective? Leave it down in the comments. What you would like to see in the show. Maybe ideas that you don't see on other Bears podcasts. Honestly, I only know of 2 or 3 Bears podcasts. So I do plan on bringing something a little different to the table, talking about stuff a little bit different, doing some different things in the future. If this podcast picks up, I've got some different ideas. When I feel that I put better content up on my channel and there's more consistent stuff, I'll have a Patreon, which will lead to other things as well in the podcast community. I just want to keep giving. I'm not looking to become rich off of YouTube. I'm just looking for it to pay for things, as far as maybe a Blu-ray a month, maybe some of my camera equipment, maybe a jersey. And then I'd like to do giveaways. I'd like for the channel to grow, to be able to do things like that. I know on these beginning episodes of the podcast, you're not going to see the numbers jump right now, but my channel has over 250,000 views as a channel, and it just started getting monetized. So I just want to make it grow. I want a channel where I'm going to go and it's going to offer what I want, and because this is my perspective. So what's your perspective? Tune in next Sunday. I will be in Nashville watching the Bears-Titans game. I got my tickets. I am in Tennessee, born and raised here, lived here forever, been to Chicago a few times. So I'm very excited to see my first Chicago Bears game, even though it's preseason. But the cool thing about preseason and the cool thing about the Bears this year is so many new faces. So it's a lot to be excited for, regardless of what we win or lose. So I'll be there. I'll have a newer camera, and it's just a stopgap camera. It's a Quentin Demps camera. And I plan on the next podcast, I may do parts of it there, of what I see at the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then upload them all at once, and then come behind and have an epilogue that's only about 5 minutes like this one. So subscribe, hit the subscribe button, like or dislike, I don't care. That's what you feel. Let's comment. Please watch the first Chicago Bears perspective video so you can kind of hear where I'm coming with it all, where I'm going to take this channel. And alright guys, see you next week.